Blessings and welcome to The Path to Freedom. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and as always, I'm deeply grateful and honored that you're choosing to tune in to this particular space, that you're choosing to join me. Out of all the choices available, you are choosing to be here with me, which I truly appreciate. For a moment of expanding our consciousness, a moment of raising our vibration, allowing for the peace and the love and the joy and the harmony and abundance that is eternally and perpetually surrounding us and inherently within us in every single moment to come forth, to flow through us, to emerge from within us. Today, or actually today's topic, is what if I was stuck here forever? ... and a question mark. And this has something to do. So what if I was stuck here forever? And this has something to do with I had an experience, or I have had an experience over the last week or so, where I have been in an immense amount of resistance where a particular condition was concerned. I have been fuming and stewing in negativity and resentment and anger and frustration over this situation being what it is. I've had so many thoughts and stories as to what should and should not be. And while I've been aware of this, I've been simultaneously trying to manipulate and trying to change this particular condition to make it, to turn it into what I want it to be, or what I thought I needed it to be, for me to be in peace, for me to be in joy, for me to be in harmony, and all of these beautiful divine qualities. And a number of days ago, a couple of days ago, or maybe it was even yesterday, I became aware, it popped into my mind a question, a beautiful question, of which the topic of this particular talk is the beginning of that question. And the question goes, if I was to be stuck here forever, what would I have to change within myself in order to be able to live with myself? If I was stuck here, if nothing were to change on the external level, where my conditions are concerned, where my experiences are concerned, where my situations are concerned, where another individual is concerned, if everything on the outside were to stay the same forever, for all of eternity, what would I need to change within myself for me to be able to live with myself? And this question, it's an old question. I don't think I've talked about it. It's not come up in any of these talks before, but it's an old question. I think it was originated, or at least I've heard it from Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. And this question sort of popped me out of the bubble that I was in, out of the cocoon of negativity, out of the pot of the stew of negativity. It popped me out of it. No, it did not, but it created an opening. I was still fuming, I was still stewing in all this negativity, I was still in resistance, I was still trying to manipulate and banging my head against the wall, trying to change the external. But this question got me back, it brought me back to what is mine to do, and what was mine to do in this experience. That it was not mine to do to try to change the external condition. Like that saying goes, if I, for instance, don't like my workplace, or the city I'm living in, or a relationship that I'm in, and I make the choice to leave that workplace or city or condition and go to another place, find another job, find another relationship, find another city to live in, I will be bringing myself. I will always be bringing me. And as the world is always nothing but a reflection, a beautiful reflection of where I am in consciousness, where we are in consciousness, if I continue to bring me, if I continue to hold myself up with my perceptions, my beliefs, my stories, my thoughts as to what should and should not be, if I continue to hold that up in front of the mirror, what will I be seeing? Well, I will, wherever I go, whenever I go, I'll always be seeing me being reflected in the mirror. So if I want the condition to change, if I want to allow for more peace, or more joy, or more harmony, or more abundance, or more wholeness, or whatever the case may be, if I want more of that, then I need to make that change. I need to become that. Be the change I wish to see. And so in this particular condition, as this question popped into my mind, and I was sort of pulled out of the reaction and into responding mode, I did a little bit of the freedom process. I asked myself, what would be the highest possibility here and now? And the highest possibility, and I had done this before, I had asked myself this question before, and I had always caught that the highest possibility was for this condition to be dissolved, for this condition to be changed. That was what I caught as the highest possibility. But now, as I came back to the nowness of this moment, as I was able to stand in the nowness of this moment, observing, witnessing what was going on in my mind, a different answer came to this question. So I asked, what would be the highest possibility here and now in this condition? And the question, or the answer that came, was for me to be in peace. Now, if I was to stay in this condition forever, if I was to be stuck in this condition forever, if nothing were to change on the outside, and the highest possibility for me in this condition was to be in peace, then obviously the second question was, what do I need to release and let go of, and what do I need to cultivate and develop within myself to be in peace? And the answer that came to that question, or those questions, was simply to choose peace. To choose peace. To stop banging my head against the wall. To stop trying to turn conditions, and this particular condition, into what I want it to be, or what I wanted it to be. To stop trying to manipulate and go to the source, which is always me. Come back to the source. So I needed to choose peace. I'm not saying this, and this was yesterday, I'm not saying that I've moved all the way through it. I still experience resistance. I still get pulled into that reaction. But now I know that that is not the answer. And I'm actually a little bit not embarrassed, but it's interesting for me to notice. I've been on this path for so many years. I've done a lot of work around releasing my attachment to my stories, and releasing attachment to things being the way I want them to be. And yet I got so caught up by this. And this went on for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something like that, where I was absolutely stewing and fuming in this negativity. So it's very interesting how easy it is for the ego to get a hold of us and reel us in into reaction mode. It's very interesting. But I'm emerging from this, and as always, every single challenge that we face is always a gift and a blessing of transformation. So I'm emerging a lot more spiritually muscled. My spiritual muscles have been strengthened. My awareness have been increased. And so I've learned, this was like a boot camp. It was not very nice to go through it. I did not enjoy it at all. But now that I have gone through it, it's a different me that emerges. My consciousness has been expanded. My vibration has been lifted. And I give it all credit to this beautiful question. If I was to stay stuck in this condition forever, what would I need to change within myself? It's always about the inside. It's always about that which is within. What would I need to change within myself to be able to live with myself forever? That is a beautiful question. And I love how it points to the source. How he points to the only corner of the universe. Someone once said that the only corner of the universe that any one of us can ever change is ourselves. So I love how this question pointed me to the only corner of the universe that I could actually change, that I actually have the power to change, that I actually have control over. I have no control over external conditions and circumstances. I have no power over them. Absolutely, I can move myself into vibrational alignment with the good that I desire, calling that forth. But even then, when and how of the manifestation, it is not up to me. It's not under my control. I don't have power over any of that. But I do have power. I do have absolute authority over my mind, my consciousness, my vibration. This, my dear friends, this is freedom. Coming back to taking back our minds, doing what we need to do to allow for the peace that is here, to allow for the love that is here, to allow for the joy that is here to well up from within us, regardless of conditions, regardless of circumstances. So, thank you for walking the path of freedom with me. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And so until the next time, much, much love to every single one of us. And really, there's only one of us. Namaste.